Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. And today in the Bible Bistro, we're looking at Psalm 92 all this week, Psalm 92. And what a wonderful psalm this is. It tells us all about the Sabbath day. For the introduction says that this is a psalm, a song for the Sabbath day. So when you get up on Saturday morning and you're living in the time of David and you're living in the time of Asaph and you're living in the time of Solomon, you might probably sing this song maybe as you go off to Sabbath services. Also, a good song to sing when we're going off to church services on a Sunday, what we call the Lord's Day. So we'll talk about this psalm this week. We're going to read verses 1, 2, and 3 today. Now, this psalm is without an author's name, so we don't know who wrote it. It's another orphanic psalm, but we do have this lovely introduction, a psalm, a song for the Sabbath day. If you look at the psalm, we have 15 verses. In the English, there's 15 verses. This psalm is meticulously constructed. You have verses 1 through 7. Then you have right there in the smack dab in the middle, verse 8. And then you have verses 9 through 15. So 7 verses before you get to verse 8 and 7 verses after verse 8. There are 15 lines of Hebrew text before verse 8 and 15 lines of Hebrew text after verse 8. You'll also notice that verse 3, or verse 7 and verse 9, are the two verses that add that extra line of text. They're a little bit longer than all the others. The Lord's name is used 7 times in this psalm, 3 times in verses 1 through 7, 3 times in verses 9 through 15, and once in verse 8. Verse 8 acts like the spoke or the hub, the axle maybe, on which all of this turns. It's the very center of all of it, and it should be. And we'll get to verse 8 here in the middle of the week, but just look there and you'll see why. And you can answer the question for yourself. Why is verse 8 so central to this psalm? Read it and you'll find out. This psalm is a thanksgiving. We're to sing it, we're to pray it, we're to hear it read. This psalm is wonderful, and it tells us a lot about worship on the Sabbath day. What is it that we're to do on the Sabbath day? So, let me read verses 1, 2, and 3. It's a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp, with a solemn sound. So we begin Psalm 92 with this instruction to worship. It's a good thing to give thanks. It's a good thing to sing praise, to show forth the loving kindness of the Lord in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night. So you see, praise and song and thankfulness all is combined here, because this is what we're going to do on the Sabbath when we worship. Notice verse 3, upon an instrument of 10 strings, the psaltery, the harp, with a solemn sound. So not only are we using our voice, but we're also using an instrument, because praise is central to the worship of the Father. And so, unto the Lord Most High, unto the Lord, we're going to make this praise, these songs, give our thanks, and we're going to do it night and day. Morning and evening is when we're going to do it. And we're going to use our instruments, 10 strings, the psaltery, the harp, and we're going to do it with the sacred organ, our voice, as we come before the Lord. So we begin with this song for the Sabbath day, telling us about singing. Why? Because singing is so essential. Music is so essential to the worship of God. All right, well, join me again tomorrow. We're going to look at verses 4, 5, and 6 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.